So today we have quite an interesting topic. If you guys are just joining us for the month of December, I am doing Moderator Month, where I'm letting my 3 moderators choose all of my videos for the month of December, outside of like 2 or 3 around Christmas. But with that said, we are on to the last topic of Newts, which is my second moderator, and today he wanted me to talk about the top 5 things that I never expected whenever I became a reviewer. So things that just I never even expected to happen. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So without further ado, let's get it. What's good, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka FragranceDoud. Thank you guys so much for joining me for yet another interesting topic as chosen by my second moderator, Newt. This is his final topic. Even though he had one more, he sent me the list late. I'm going to try to get to that later in the month if I get through Hamzat's list. But with that said, before we get into it, as always, make sure if you haven't already and you do like my content, that you subscribe. Everybody else, hit the like, put me on the algorithm. I'd really appreciate it. It only takes 2 seconds. Comment below and let me know as a subscriber in the fragrance community, or if you are a reviewer, let me know some things that you found unexpected as your journey continued, as you got more fragrances, stuff like that. And then, again, I will let you guys know from my point of view, the video topic today, top 5 things that I never expected when I became a fragrance reviewer. So I guess that we're going to get right into it, huh? Well, obviously, if you want my video sooner, hit the notification bell, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so the first one should be pretty unanimous across the board. You guys should know, honestly. And it's that all the support that I've gotten from you guys.
Dude, I'm playing Fortnite, dude. I got my pizza rolls already. I got a new girlfriend. Shit is amazing right now.
Guys, I did not expect to make so many friends on here that I would actually be talking to them outside of YouTube. I never expected that I would have so many subscribers that I talk to legit on the daily, both on YouTube, on Instagram, and on the phone. And so it's just quite interesting, the amount of like connections that you make on here, and I never expected that. Because if you guys don't know, before I started my channel, I was in the fragrance community, but I only watched like 2 to 3 people. I watched one person's lives all the time. And then outside of that, as far as videos, I watched somebody that had like 300 followers and was part of the fragrance community for years. And another person who was part of the fragrance community for like 6 years and had like 200,000 followers. But myself, I had 2 TikTok channels and a YouTube channel. All of them were with my daughter. We had a Pokemon booster box unwrapping thing where we would buy giant booster boxes like Generation 1 Pokemon booster boxes and unwrap them. And we had 75,000 subscribers on YouTube and like 200 and some thousand on TikTok. And then she liked K-pop, but she was too young, so I had to do it with her. She had a K-pop channel that had like 100 and some thousand on TikTok. But with that said, she didn't want to do them as she started growing up, so I canceled all of those accounts. And I decided that I wanted to get into what I liked, and that is fragrances. And as you guys know, I started with 20 fragrances that I've had for pretty much my whole life, and then I got Wanted by Night and YSLY EDT, and that made my collection grow. So I decided to start a channel, and then literally within the first 3 months, I kept wondering, like, how am I going to get subscribers? I know you have to get to 1,000 subscribers to get live streams and monetized and whatever it is. And so I was like, how the heck am I going to do that? And within the first month, I had like 200 subscribers. And then after 3 months, it was like 1,500 subscribers. And I was just like, all the support I did not expect, because I was just talking about fragrances. My daughter wasn't on it. There was nothing popular like Pokemon to talk about. Because at that point in time, that was during COVID, whenever, what's his name? Logan Paul was going crazy with the Charizard cards and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's why that channel was blowing up. Anyway, so, yeah, I just never expected it. And then within the first, like, 2 months, I met my first moderator, Killer Kamikaze, that you guys know him on here. And then like a month after that, my other moderator, Mo. And then like a month after that, my last moderator, Newt, who made up this video, we like all became friends and started talking offline. So, I mean, now I can literally name probably 30 or 40 people that I speak to on the daily on YouTube or whatever, like Sandy, Vance, all of those people. Like it's just like every single day I talk to some of them. But with that said, that's the obvious one. It's just the support. I just never expected it. I mean, I've seen it before, again, on my other channels, but those were popular things. People were watching it not for me, but for the actual cards and stuff. With that said, number 2. So when I got in the fragrance community and I started becoming a reviewer, I wanted to become a designer release channel at heart, like 75% that, while crawling into some Indian niche in some random videos. Well, I did not realize, number 2, how many freaking designer releases there were. I never realized it, and still to this day, I'm still baffled. Like, we're not even in 2024, and there is already 6 or 7 releases announced for January, or January, February. This year, we had 25, 26 in the first month and a half, 2 months of the year. Last year, we had a little bit more than that. But I'd never realized that as far as mainstream, mainline designers, there's like 30 to 40 releases a year. I never, like, outside of this, whenever I used to just walk into Macy's to buy Aqua de Show, I always thought it was just legit the same fragrances over and over. I never knew that they like got new ones, especially at the rate that I've seen it. Like, I can barely keep up financially, and like, I'm not somebody who's not financially stable, and so it's just ridiculous. Like this year, I think I had to spend like almost $5,000 in the first 3 or 4 months of the year because there was so many freaking releases on top of the things that I already wanted to buy. So I never realized how expensive a fragrance channel would be. It's actually almost as expensive as the Pokemon channel would be. And I mean, think about it. A Generation 1 Pokemon booster box was like $11,000 at that point in time. So, I mean, I got into this because I thought it would be cheaper. But it's like, at the end of the year, it's really not. But yeah. With that said, so yeah, the amount of fragrances, the amount of releases, it's crazy. Because I started my channel again. I think if you go back and watch one of my first videos, they sucked. My first videos sucked. I had like a plastic rack behind me that it had like showcasing some of my fragrances, but I had like 30 fragrances, and that was a year and a half ago. And within that year and a half, I have 327 fragrances on my shelf, but I've sold every time I got to 300. I kept selling fragrances. So I've probably bought, I would say, 400 to 450 fragrances in the last year and a half. I mean, it's just nuts. And that's why I've slowed down so much over the last few months. Anyway, going into number 3. There's a contrast here. It's the only overwhelming positivity and the overwhelming negativity that I found on these videos, on the comments, on the live streams. I've already talked about the negativity part with the 10 or top worst people that I've seen on YouTube in the fragrance community. That was a couple days ago if you don't want to go watch that video. So there's an overwhelming amount of negativity, but what I really like is the overwhelming amount of support. The people who come and actually defend me. But yeah, it's the people that come and actually defend me that it's just absolutely crazy. I never expected it. The amount of support is just nuts, and yeah, I'm really thankful for that. I mean, never expected it, but I'm always willing to be taking it. I mean, someone will come at me and say something, and then somebody else will come and defend me. I think it's absolutely nuts, and I love it. Anyway, going into number 4. Number 4 is I never realized how much my nose would grow. On specific notes specifically, like I hated leather when I first started. Like ombre leather smelled like a leather couch. But I also wasn't huge into niche. I had like 2 to 3 niche fragrances, but now I go into it and I'm like, ombre leather is actually really freaking good. I love it. But Yeah, it's just my nose grew, and a lot of notes that I didn't like originally, I liked. A lot of fragrances I didn't like originally are now either personal enjoyment scents or whatnot. But yeah, I really was shocked about how much my nose would grow. So even at somebody who's been around fragrances since they were in like 1997, whenever I started getting, like, I had 20 fragrances at least for the most part of my life from 1997 until 2016 when my collection went crazy. Anyway, and the last one, I'm just trying to get through here, like how much I've learned would be also a part of that last topic, because I learned a shit ton. Like, there's so much about fragrances. Like, my nose is growing, but also at the same time, I'm learning how to pick out more and more notes. I'm learning about notes that I never knew existed. There's some crazy notes that still are like calypso and stuff that I've never heard of. But yeah, really, really cool to find that kind of stuff out. And then the last one, number 5, is I never expected to know so much about specific reviewers. And I never expected to know so much negativity about them. And I've never thought that there would be so much hate towards specific reviewers that don't deserve it, and there's so much positivity to reviewers that do deserve that negativity. But it's not like I'm going to come out and say, this person, I heard about this and behind the scenes and it's terrible, and I don't really want to do that, because I found that if you get into the drama scene and fragrance community, it's not good for you. But yeah, I'm going to keep that short and sweet. That's 5 things. Again, the support, the amount of fragrances and releases, overwhelming positivity and negativity, how much my nose would grow and how much I learned, and the last one is reviewers. So yeah, I have something to do, so I was trying to make the list quick. So let me know some things that you've learned that you never expected going into the fragrance community over the last few years. And again, I'll be back with another one. Peace out.